Hey cats and kittens, it's EDDBUD here. Today I'm bringing you my initial review of the Adidas Ultraboost 21. So this is an exclusive Creators Club colourway of the shoe that was released a little bit earlier than the main release colourways. Just to let you know, Adidas haven't sent me this shoe, I've bought it with my own earth credits. So you know, these are my honest and very from the heart opinions. Okay, without further ado, let's get to it. So I took the Ultraboost 21 out for a 10-mile run, so 16.1 kilometers, a pace of 7 minutes 58 seconds per mile average, which for all of you that love those conversions is 4 minutes 58 per kilometer. Mainly on road and concrete for the first run, taking in some mud, some standing water, a lot of wind, and a little bit of elevation to test out the credentials of this highly cushioned shoe. Weight wise, get ready for it. In my UK size 11.5, which is a US size 12, this one comes in at 402 grams. Yep, that's 14.18 ounces. It's big. It's very, very big. There's a reported 10mm drop in this shoe, which I believe is the same as the previous iteration. Okay, let's get to the review. Upper first. A prime knit upper here in the Ultraboost 21. A little softer, a little bit more flexible and pliable than the upper on the last iteration of the shoe. I'd suggest a little closer to the Ultraboost 18, which would be the V4, I think. The toe box is a little bit shallower than the last version of the shoe, so do be warned. Although I'd suggest that the heel collar and the heel counter here provide some ingredients for a much better lockdown soup. I didn't mess around with the lacing too much, just put them on, laced them up, and found that I had a really good lockdown straight off the bat. It does feel like they're pulling the Ultraboost back in a more running, performance orientated direction rather than a lifestyle shoe. You can see this triple cloud offering isn't probably the best colorway for a running shoe, but I'm not the sort of guy that keeps these things in a glass case anyway. They're designed to be used, they're designed to be put on foot, get out there, run some miles.
Oh, that running shoe will get really dirty quickly.
What are you doing with these shoes? They're supposed to be for running. You know, if you want to stand in a mirror and look at them and admire how pristine they look, well, that's great. Go and do that, knock yourself out, but they're designed for running, guys. Come on. I think it's a really lovely looking shoe anyway, regardless of whether it's covered in mud or not. I took a while to clean these off yesterday, so they were a little bit more presentable for you. Sizing alert. So I went for my typical Adidas size, which is an 11.5 UK or US size 12. It's just about right. I wouldn't want it any more snug than it is. So some of you might want to experiment a little bit, going up a little bit further, perhaps another half size. Just to let you know, do try before you buy, which is really hard to do right now because lots of us are in lockdown and lots of shops aren't open. Make sure you've got a good refund policy or exchange policy. The prime knit here is within Adidas's prime blue category, meaning it's made from recycled ocean waste. So we're talking anchors, Wellington boots, no, it's recycled plastic bowls. I did find over the course of the run that the upper does stretch somewhat, so do be prepared for that to happen. It did make the shoe a tiny bit better in terms of the fit. Apparently 50% of the upper here is just textile now, and 75% of that stuff is Adidas's recycled plastic bowl stuff. There is no virgin polyester here, apparently. So for those on a sustainable tip, these could be right up your street. As I say, lockdown's way better than the Ultraboost 18, vastly better than the Ultraboost 20. I just laced them up and forgot about it over the course of my aerobic effort run. Kind of sock-like really, quite pleasing on foot. It was a milder day yesterday as well, and I didn't feel like my foot was getting too warm, too cold, it was just right. No rubbing, no issues. Better. It's not true to size, I would suggest, but that aside, this type of material here in the upper is never the same after one run. I'm going to give this a 2.6 out of 3 after my initial run for the upper. Midsole now. Let's get something straight here. This isn't designed to be a racing shoe, and I read a lot of stuff online that suggests that this isn't a running shoe. It very much is designed to be a running shoe, and I think that it could work for a number of people. I think it's really a max cushion shoe for longer runs and recovery efforts. As a max cushion shoe, I feel this does a really good job. A master of one area perhaps, rather than a dabbler in many. Adidas proudly state that there's 6% more boost here. and I'm not entirely sure that it's all underfoot. Most of it seems to be in this sort of cupped area here in the heel. But like I said, the actual fit and lockdown is far superior to the last version, so maybe it's in the right place. Not sure we needed too much more underfoot. 10mm drop here, and despite people saying that there's a gargantuan amount of boost here, not all of it's underfoot. So in the heel you've got about a 30.5mm stack height and 20.5 in the forefoot, and it very much feels like a 10mm drop shoe. That makes it supposedly about 8mm higher in the heel than the last version. I'm not too sure about that. That's what it says on the Adidas website, so who knows. Underfoot feel, as you would expect from the Ultraboost 21, is vastly cushioned, and I'd suggest it's far more forgiving than the Clifton 7 that I tried out from Hoka a while ago. This was like running on some soft pillows and the beach. It just felt really beautiful. The angle of the drop here just felt way better to me. It just felt right the instant I put it on my foot. There's quite a prominent rocker there as well, as you can see in the midsole. The boost just works really nicely with some of that new outsole tech. Naysayers are always going to suggest that boost is outdated, but it appears Adidas really feel it's here to stay, probably due to its durability and resilience. You know, people complain that boost's heavy or not as responsive, but then they also go and complain about how quickly some of these other foams bottom out. Lots of these newer foams don't last as long. Simple as that. On my initial effort today of 10 miles, the transition felt really nice and smooth, less forced than it did in the Ultraboost 20, and closer to that lovely Boston 9. I think as a long run shoe, aerobic effort, or perhaps for some recovery runs, this one's going to really hit the spot. It's never going to be the most versatile of shoes, I think you can understand, probably due to that weight. Far better boost implementation here, and a big forward step though for the Ultraboost. I'm going to give this a 2.5 for the midsole, just considering it's not going to be the most versatile of shoes. But when I do put it on, I think I'm going to enjoy it. Outsole now. A very different outsole here to what we've had in previous versions of the Ultraboost. Quite a bit to talk about. Let's dive in. So Adidas have implemented their LEP technology, which they humorously say in one of their videos means little extra push. That's kind of what it feels like though. It does stiffen the midfoot area a little bit and provide some snap, a little bit of encouragement perhaps, like a little person sat on your shoulder saying, go on, you can do it. So the ride is just a little bit more snappy. There's a little bit more going on there underfoot and you can feel it. We have, of course, some Continental rubber. It's in the forefoot, it's in the midfoot. We got that stretched rubber mesh. I don't know what I'm doing here. Move my hands around. Feels good. Feels good. And the outsole actually reminds me a little bit of the Asics Nova Blast. We've got that hollowed out section through here and then the trampoline pad. That torsion piece here is actually quite solid. You can hear that. You could mine for diamonds and stuff with that thing. Those who dislike a loud shoe will be happy with this one. I believe Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid could probably wear this shoe and sneak around. It is very quiet. In fact, I had to call out to a few people as I was coming past because they just didn't hear me. One of the quietest and most silent running shoes that I've tested in recent memory. On all surfaces, the shoe performed with good grip and traction. Even on grassy verges when I was evading passers-by. One minor issue though here in the outsole is that small pieces of grit and stones get wedged into those stretched rubber slats. I had loads of stowaways that I had to prise out with a small screwdriver. So if you particularly enjoy that sort of thing, then pick up a pair. It's a little bit like popping bubble wrap, I suppose. You can just get all those little pieces out and you feel really good and you can sleep properly afterwards. Certainly a lot less rubber here than in the Ultraboost 20 outsole, and that's very, very welcome. It's just in the places where it's needed now and not everywhere, and really thick. It's just the right amount. Although I think they've had to do that to try and keep the weight of the shoe down a little bit, otherwise we're heading into performance basketball shoe territory. That's not a place we want to be in terms of weight. We know that Continental rubber holds up well over time, and I've really got few complaints here. If I'm talking about small little stones wedged in the outsole, you know, I'm clutching at straws a little bit. But one thing I would suggest over time, what happens when the rubber does wear down on the LEP torsion bar sections, I'm not sure what's going to happen then. It's not going to be a nice ride hitting straight on top of that torsion bar. So that does limit my outsole score a little bit. I'm going to give this a 2.6 out of 3 for outsole after my initial run. Value now. At £160, I can't suggest to you that this is the best value long run or recovery shoe that you're going to get. I picked this up for 120 because I try to be shrewd and never buy a running shoe at full price. I mean, why would you do that? There's all sorts of discount codes out there, guys, you know, hunt them down. Takes a few minutes, could save you some serious earth credits. A little bit of discount on this one makes it a little bit easier to digest, a lot more palatable. Why the price? I mean, some other reviewers in the past have suggested that it's down to the fact that they use Continental rubber on the outsole. Does that really mean they can charge a big premium wedge on top? I'm not sure. I mean, there's Continental rubber in the SL20, in the Boston 9, yet they're vastly more affordable. So my thoughts are, I'm pretty sure you're going to get some decent durability out of this one over time. We know that the outsole and the midsole are probably going to hold up pretty well. The knit is new and only the miles will be the gauge as to its durability. I think this shoe's going to either appeal to you or it's not going to appeal to you. Certain people love the Ultraboost. I see lots of people running in it in my local area. Other people perhaps are going to say, no, it's too bulky, too heavy, that's not my bag, and I fully understand that. I think it could be a great daily warrior, as I said, for those longer runs, recovery efforts. I'll certainly be grabbing for this one. But it's going to hurt my value score because the versatility just isn't there. If you can afford to have a premium recovery and long run shoe, then fantastic. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 3 for value. Just use those discount codes, guys, mainly due to the lack of versatility. So a vast improvement for me underfoot and on top of the foot actually. A much better profile underfoot. The boost distribution's just right now for me. There's a little bit of rigidity there for that snap and improved distribution of rubber on the outsole. But at least go up half a size. Make sure you've got a good exchange policy if you do go for this one, guys. Sadly though, obviously the weight's up there, but I guess that could give you a little bit more momentum. There's always two ways to look at things, guys. Time for a musical interlude. I'm not sure what it is. Every time the year begins in January, I always go back to Neil Young. I kind of drawn back to his back catalogue, of which it's extensive. There's so many albums. I've been listening to his 1978 album, Comes a Time. This is mainly a country type album. And when I say country, I don't mean country and western hoedown sort of stuff. I'm talking about good songwriting, good singing, nice instrumentation. That's what I mean. Crazy Horse even managed to make an appearance here on Look Out for My Love and Lotta Love. So obviously the love songs. It's all about Comes a Time and 4 Strong Winds though on this record. 4 Strong Winds is a beautiful track. Some acoustic guitar, 12 string I believe, and some lovely harmonies there. The chorus is just wonderful. It's such a great song. A sentimental sort of song, and one of which I think Neil has often mentioned as being very important to him in his younger years. The legendary Ben Keith appears on this record as well, on the pedal steel, and you hear it straight away. You can hear it's him. So there's echoes there of the Harvest album. I was really lucky to be able to see Ben Keith perform with Neil Young before he sadly passed away. I think that was in Nottingham, a long time back, probably like 2008 or something. So go and check that one out from 1978, Comes a Time by Neil Young. If you've got any comments at all on the Ultraboost 21, let me know down below. Thanks for sticking with me to the very end today. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos. It also helps the channel out a huge amount if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share this video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you